So, hey everybody, this is Mrs. Prepping Plumber. Today we're going to do a short video on dehydrating fruit. We've got bananas, apples, oranges, kiwi fruit, and we're mainly doing this for our 4-year-old son. He loves fruit, but the problem is, like, you get this big bunch of bananas, he can't eat all those bananas before they go bad. And another tip, if you're dehydrating fruit, like, you want to get the fresher the better. So kind of get your bananas sort of green, your strawberries as fresh as you can get them. But you also want to make sure everything is sanitized and wiped down. Like, I used bleach on the stovetop before I even started doing anything. I've washed my hands probably, I don't know, what, honey, 4, 5, or 6 times. But so I've already cut up some strawberries, and when you're cutting up strawberries, bananas, apples, anything like that, you have to be sure that you get 100% lemon juice, because you know bananas, strawberries, apples, everything like that will turn brown quick. So just get a normal spray bottle and 100% lemon juice and spritz them down after you've cut them. That'll save them from browning before you put them on the dehydrator. And I got this dehydrator for $5 at a yard sale, like many years ago. And we've already done, what we do, beef jerky,
deer jerky.
I think we've dehydrated fruit before.
Yeah.
But we used to buy the dehydrated fruit at the grocery store for our son, and it just costs too much. Like, it's cheaper to go ahead and buy all this, plus you get more when you do it this way. But there's really no particular thickness that you have to do. I just cut mine
about a
like
quarter-inch thick. About
like that, or you can even do a little bit thinner. It doesn't matter, but I just eyeball it. I just cut it to where I think that it'll get done in a timely manner. But we usually let this run overnight, so roughly about 12 hours. But I'll be back in a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting the strawberries on the dehydrator, and I'll be back. We are putting the strawberries on the dehydrator now. I don't really space mine because, I mean, they're going to dry out regardless, and you can fit more on there the closer you get them together. And it's always worked for us. So I just kind of layer them around in a circle until I get the whole tray filled up. I am cutting up the apple. You don't need to cut your apple super thin. You want to give it a little bit, or do like I did and cut the seed, but you can just pop it out like that and cut off the ends. So we're going to finish cutting this apple, and I don't know if I'm going to cut all those apples because I'm not sure how much space is left in the dehydrator. But you just spritz them. Like, it don't have to be a soaking like spray, just spritz them real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and layer these on the dehydrator so that I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit because it might not go in the tray good. But that's all you do, is just layer your fruit in here. And our dehydrator stays, what, 140, honey?
Yeah.
A constant 140. And of course y'all know who's with me, Mr. Prepping Plumber. He's videoing.
Yeah, I checked the temperature on the dehydrator one time. Took one of them little disc thermometers and threw in it, you know. Like I said, we bought this thing at a yard sale. I bought pressure canners at yard sales. I bought water bath canners at yard sales. Because people get this stuff or inherit it, you know.
Or they get it as a wedding present. This, that, they don't never going to use it.
Yeah, so come yard sale season, it's a good time to check and see what everybody, even if you just drive by and look and see, hey, you know, they might have something worth obtaining. But
I mean, you never know until you go out there.
yeah, so, but
Let's go ahead and put this on. There's the strawberries. They're already on the dehydrator. I have 2 trays of strawberries on there already. So let's get that set down on there. And I do have room for, I have 2 more trays left. So that'll probably take all my apples, and then I might do like 1 tray of, of bananas. And it probably won't take that whole bunch. But my son loves bananas, and he loves the banana chips, so that's what we're gonna make. I'd rather him be eating stuff like this than gummies or candy, anything like that. I'd rather him eat real fruit and get his sugar that way. I'm just going to finish putting these on here, and then I'm going to cut up some bananas.
alright, y'all, while she is chopping up this banana, like I said, we got that dehydrator at the yard sale, and I think it don't have all the trays to it. It's only got like 6.
But for $5.
It works. And food preservation, you know, dehydrating and smoking was the first 2 means of food preservation. And I think a lot of people discount dehydrating food except for beef jerky.
I mean, I've always loved to dehydrate my fruit. I mean, it gives it more of a texture, I guess. And it, like, you know, we were talking about food
Preservation.
And it just lasts longer.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go buy a bag of apples. Everybody knows that we run through a whole lot of not high quality fruit around here. I mean, it's North Carolina. You can get good peaches, you can get good apples. But when you're out of season, you go buy a bag of apples, you know, in 2 or 3 days they got bad spots on them. Your bananas go bad in 2 or 3 days. Strawberries go bad before you get them home. So what we found the best thing to do for the kids is to chop it up as soon as we get it home. We got plenty of bananas. We'll probably run another run of bananas. And then we got kiwi. And we also got the stuff to dehydrate dill pickle chips. That's a great snack. I mean, it really is. But we'll do videos on all that.
You could also do sweet potatoes too. You can dehydrate those, and people like sweet potato chips and stuff like that.
One other thing I wanted to show y'all. I run to the store to get the fruit and this, that, and the other. And I was walking around. I went over to check the bean situation. And the bean aisle, where the dried beans are, had holes everywhere and was empty. So I went over to the Mexican section, or not Mexican, Spanish food section, you know. And they have those Goya beans, the dried beans, and they were completely stocked. I guess people...
I'm just going to stop right here.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
But I think people forget about going into the Spanish sections and looking at stuff. And I seen this. Now this is like a soy powdered milk protein shake thing for kids, and they've got 2 or 3 different kinds. They've got vanilla and this, that, and the other. But y'all all seen my little tiny Ethiopian little boy. I mean, he looks like he rode in on a chicken, and he got his little stomach pooched out like one of them kids you see on them
1-800.
Yeah, 1-800 commercials, and he's got a daggum little skeeter chest, and it's because he runs constant. He is wide open running 100 miles an hour. Don't matter how much he eats, he just don't put on weight. But so I got this because don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know if it'll focus on it. But this thing's got 16 vitamin and minerals. And it's a little powdered thing, so I'm gonna try making him some, see if he'll eat it. I'll let y'all know how it is and how it tastes, because, you know, I ain't gonna give him nothing that I ain't willing to eat. That's the reason why when he was a baby, Mama over here carried one of them little tiny food processors in the diaper bag. She'd go in there and make his plate, go put it in the food processor, puree everything, make homemade baby food. Because if it come out of one of them baby food jars, Lord, you couldn't convince me to eat it. I know that.
And another thing, Mr. Plummer might forget to go to the Hispanic aisle, but I never forget. There is a lot of good spices over there, like the spices that you'll pay $5 for. Like, I know this is completely off subject from dehydrating fruit, but like this parsley right here, this is from the Hispanic aisle. Okay, I might have paid $3 for this, if that. You go over to the normal aisle like McCormick and all this, and you're going to pay like $5 for a bottle like that. It's just people overlook that aisle so much, and they have the same things that the normal aisles have. You might not can read them all, but you can tell from the pictures if you need to do that or whatever. So don't skip that aisle.
No.
And then, you know, the scraps that we have over here, I'm going through and see, I work in a commercial kitchen, so I throw my trash. I just, when I come home, Mr. Plumber's like, you have to remember, honey, you're not in a commercial kitchen. So I'm going through here and getting all the labels off of this, because we're going to put the scraps of the fruit that we done in our compost.
Yeah.
So that's another good thing that fruit's good for if you're cutting up vegetables, fruit. Throw it in your compost. Don't just throw it away.
And, you know, like I said, I'm at home in the mornings. Y'all know I'm in all the local chats and everything. So when I get up in the morning, I'll go through and check it, and all the ones that are 100% dehydrated. If there's a couple that's, you know, cut a little thicker or something, I'll move them all to one rack and I'll leave them in here until they get done. It's just like anything else, you know, you just gotta watch it and keep track of it. But like I say, dehydrating is good for short-term storage. I mean, they some people on YouTube says it's good for, you know, 15 years if you're putting it in a mason jar and you're putting oxygen absorbers in it and you vacuum seal it and this, that, and the other. Well, if I'm going to do all that, I'm just going to can it in a canner and be done with it and only have to heat it up. Not have to re-cook it or nothing. So.
And always, when you get done, sanitize what you worked with. Clean it up. I have to tell Mr. Plumber that a lot.
Don't let her lie to you. I keep a clean house. I run a tight ship around here. These kids don't get away with nothing. Y'all can tell that by the videos, how my son's jumping around and pulling Supermans off the front porch and such.
Like he always says, he's the king of his castle when I'm at work.
Alright.
But I think that's all for tonight. Like Mr. Plumber said, we're going to check this in the morning. If there's some stuff that's a little bit thicker, then we'll leave it on there and let it go a little bit longer until everything's done, and then we'll put it in Ziploc bags and we'll have dehydrated fruit for the kids. Y'all have a good evening.